Welcome to the CPM Customer Success Podcast, where we help Office of Finance leaders find an exact solution to enhance their corporate performance without spending countless nights and weekends in the office. Hi, I'm your host, Andy Smetana with Nova Advisory. Nova Advisory is a 100% OneStream professional services diamond implementation partner. We help OneStream customers and prospective OneStream customers get the most out of their OneStream investments. And speaking of getting the most out of your OneStream investment, we have a special download for you to help you make the best CPM investment decision for your organization. Check that out now at the Nova Advisory website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and download our free CPM customer success software evaluation criteria and selection workbook. Each of the criteria is described in more detail in an episode of CPM Customer Success. The workbook includes each episode and references that back to you so you can explore deeper what makes OneStream unique as compared to other CPM solutions in the marketplace. It'll guide you through your CPM decision process, and the workbook is free to listeners, so check that out now. Now, just as this workbook will help you in your CPM investment decision, OneStream also helps their prospective OneStream customers assess and review OneStream in the CPM marketplace. So as the prospective customers are looking at OneStream, OneStream assists those customers in assessing the value they can achieve within the OneStream solution. And that's the focus of today's episode, achieving value with your CPM investment. So today we have two special guests joining from OneStream Software. Nate Gruys, Director of Sales and Customer Management. He oversees the OneStream accounts and sales team in the U.S. Rocky Mountain region. And Mitch Turner, also from OneStream Software. Mitch is part of the OneStream's value transformation team and leads up that effort. So you'll want to pay close attention to today's episode as you'll discover how the OneStream's unified platform helps organizations eliminate technical debt and achieve 50% plus efficiency gains in their financial close, reporting, and planning processes. You also learn and understand how OneStream guides prospective customers through their CPM evaluation process, leveraging an open book approach with customer references to showcase the OneStream platform's unique value. And you'll also learn how OneStream's value transformation team works closely with their customers to measure and track tangible business benefits realized after their OneStream implementation. So let's get started. So welcome both of you to the show.
Thank you,
Andy. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, great. So I'm happy to have you both here as well. So to kick things off, I was hoping you all could share your backgrounds at OneStream. Tell the audience a bit more about what you do, how you help customers, prospective OneStream customers and OneStream customers achieve their success.
Sure, I'll go first. Andy, I'm the director in our Value Transformation Services group at OneStream. Currently, I'm covering North America and APAC, but my background is in finance originally and was previously the CFO of a heavy engineering company in South Africa. I've spent probably the last 12 years now working at large enterprise software companies in the role relating to value engineering and value realization. And so that's where my focus has been over the past 12 years. Currently, I work closely with prospective customers as well as existing customers to understand the benefits and the case for change to improve and transform their finance functions through the deployment of OneStream. And we'll get into that in a bit more detail in a minute, I'm sure.
Wonderful. And I love the way you said being, and thanks for clarifying for our guests that South Africa is the location and close out that mystery where we're originally from. So welcome to the show.
Not to be confused with Australia.
Not to be confused. Not here on this show. Nate, yeah, to you, if you could share your background, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I lead a team that covers the Western region of the U.S. and Canada that manages our customer relationships and our account management and sales for the region. I've been with OneStream since 2019. And before I came to OneStream, I worked in the CPM and analytics industry for better part of 15 years, both on the software as well as the consulting side. In my current role here at OneStream, we focus really on ensuring the customers are successful, given our mission statement of 100% customer success, which really means that we want our customers to leverage the full benefits and value of their OneStream investments. We work with prospective clients as well to really understand and help the customers understand how OneStream will enable them to meet their requirements and deliver a strong, positive return on investment.
Awesome. And I appreciate that 100% customer success is OneStream's. And that's something that Nova Advisory shares as well in achieving 100% client success. And we love expanding the platform, and we love to see customers just keep adding and building. So let's stay on that kind of value proposition, Nate. So when you must, of course, see and speak with a number of prospective OneStream customers in your role. What are some of the most common challenges you see when you first engage with those prospective customers? What kind of organization challenges are they seeing and facing in their finance and accounting operations and systems?
Yeah, good question, Andy. We do see a lot of organizations of all shapes and sizes, industries, but I think I boil it down to a couple of key organizational challenges. And the first one being that we still see a lot of organizations that haven't made strategic investments in CPM solutions that really provide decision makers with the ability to what we call manage and steer the business. What do I mean by that? It's very common to see organizations that either have invested or are investing in large enterprise-wide transactional operational systems such as ERP, GL, HR, supply chain, sales, data warehouse. And while those systems provide operational efficiency, they require a significant amount of human and financial resources and rarely deliver meaningful insights that drive decision making for an organization. Really, the areas in which OneStream can really provide value to the organization. Number two is we see, because of all those systems and implementations, and we see a lot of organizations have a vast amount of data, but still struggle to truly get the information organized in a way that delivers actionable insights. So unless an organization is really deployed OneStream, they typically have multiple point solutions that only solve for one or two, sometimes three key financial accounting processes, such as financial close or planning forecasting. And when you have separate solutions for those processes, organizations need to manage and reconcile multiple solutions to get to the actual numbers. And so these are just some of the things that we see clients really struggle with, and we're here to help them through that journey.
I can appreciate in my prior role before starting really into CPM solutions and helping customers through some of those financial management reporting, closing consolidation, planning solutions. I did ERP implementations. And so I can appreciate the ERPs are very transactional nature, and you've got to be precise. You've got to get each of those different modules and things working together, and those fragmented systems working together. And where our CPM solutions consolidate, they aggregate that information and provide one platform. It's just really provides meaningful financial information to the business. So as we stay on that value case, maybe Mitch, you can share from your role in kind of value transformation. How does OneStream's unified platform and approach address some of the challenges that Nate's spoken about? And how does it really offer a more effective solution compared to other fragmented CPM approaches?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, as Nate had said, over time, you have these disparate point solutions that do a great job for what they were designed for specifically. But what happens with that is that data has to be integrated numerous times, which can lead to inconsistency in data, numbers, results. So confidence levels go down. Plus, you are having to run those integrations multiple times across these disparate solutions. With OneStream has a truly unified platform, and that eliminates the need for the complex integrations, reduces the burden of managing multiple systems, and instead it offers comprehensive interconnected solutions that streamline the processes and improve the data consistency across those organizations. I know from personal experiences is when you get down to the results at the end of the month or during the month or at a quarter end, etc., and you've got different systems giving you slightly different results, you're having to go back, do validations, tick and tie the entire time. And so what we have with this truly unified single platform is that the data comes in, all that financial data comes in once and then is used across these different solutions. And we don't have modules within. I think that's the key thing. There's no modules within our overall solution and platform. It's different solutions for different pieces of the business. So utilizing a single platform, the companies can achieve greater efficiency, far better accuracy and consistency, and then enhanced visibility and transparency in their financial operations.
Awesome. And when I think about the word module, I think really helps clarify the difference. And when you think about OneStream as a unified platform, as you mentioned, all of these solutions, whether it's closing consolidations related or planning related, or the marketplace solutions, they're downloadable, configurable, and easily straightforward to deploy all in one platform. And so as listeners think about and hear us talk about that unified platform, that's really what we're speaking to. So maybe you could each share some examples and we can stay on that. How does OneStream's platform approach really alleviate what we call that technical debt, where you're building up different modular or different ERPs and different systems and trying to make them, those disconnected systems, trying to make them connected? How does OneStream's approach, and maybe some examples will help, really different?
Yeah, I'll start with that. The one that comes to mind immediately for me is I worked closely with one of the large automotive manufacturers, global automotive manufacturers, within the sort of top three, which had just gone through a merger of two large automotive companies into this one. And they had separate source systems, particularly in the ERP side of things, two very separate source systems. Their reporting systems were separate. They had multiple different ways of reporting across the different companies, and at the stage of merging those two companies became even more complex. And what this did was create an enormous amount of technical debt, and managing and maintaining the data underlying within those source systems, and then also producing the results. What they were able to do by putting in OneStream and at that platform level was to reduce many of these disparate solutions, together with the related license costs associated with them, the integration costs, the support of these as well. And so ultimately this actually reduced a huge amount into the millions of dollars, as well as reducing the complexity of maintaining that data as well. So it's not just the specifics of a solution itself, but all the associated costs that go with that in terms of support and maintenance, et cetera, as well. And so this was a fantastic example where we literally had hard dollars saved by the company.
Yeah, anytime you have the hard dollars, it makes it easier for that organization to continue to invest and expand and just build on the capability. So that's great to hear, and especially in the millions. So how about you, Nate? Any examples you'd like to add?
Yeah, I could talk about an example with a large window and door manufacturer. And before they implemented and moved to OneStream, the company had a large, complex footprint of Oracle Hyperion software for financial consolidation, profitability and cost management, and reporting. In addition to these processes in the Hyperion software, they had several Excel and manual-based processes that weren't systematized at all and completely disconnected, including their annual budget process, rolling forecasts, tax provision, management reporting, and various ad hoc analysis. The company really was at an inflection point where the finance team and the business needed to make faster, better decisions to meet their strategic goals, but they were burdened with multiple disconnected solutions, dozens of S-based cubes that were hard to use, slow to calculate, and inflexible. And so during the evaluation process, We engage very closely with their teams to align their overall business and finance strategy with how OneStream could meet their requirements in a single unified platform. And by taking a strategic approach to implementing OneStream, the customer replaced their entire Oracle Hyperion software landscape and brought in the previous manual-based process into a single solution. And so it's just such a great example. We have many more, but it's such a great example of a OneStream customer delivering full value by reducing costs and allowing their organization to make faster, better decisions with accurate reporting, agile forecasting, and analytical reporting that drives the business forward to meet their objectives.
Yeah, just love hearing the value they achieved, the efficiency gains in terms of more expedient processes, quicker information, quicker decision making, and some of those love hearing your take on this, Mitch. But measuring the value of those in some ways is probably almost an infinite return in faster decisions and information. But before we get there, maybe Mitch, you could expand a bit on just efficiency gains are one of the selling points that when Nova's advisors working with prospective OneStream customers that we offer as a selling point for OneStream. And I know you all do as well. But maybe you could provide some specific improvements you've seen customers experience when they're looking to improve processes in their financial close, consolidations, financial management reporting, and planning.
Okay, so as we've already mentioned, our primary focus at OneStream is 100% customer success. And really the only way to achieve this and continue to achieve this is that we constantly have to work with our customers after going live to understand that what the benefits are that they have realized, and to work closely and collaboratively with them to measure and track these benefits. So we produce our own value realization report on an annual basis, and this report is currently showing that our customers' average efficiency improvements in the financial close and consolidation process is at 54%. The planning and budgeting is currently at 58%, and reporting at 75%. These are large improvements, and some of our prospects and customers are surprised to see such large improvements. But these are real results. I think that's the key thing. These are not potential results that we've gone through or third-party results, etc. It's the actual results that our customers have achieved by us going back and working with them on an annual basis to measure and track these. And we'll talk about those in a little bit more detail, I'm sure, in a minute. But these efficiency gains have reduced the time to close and consolidate results, reduced the time to take companies to produce their annual budgets and their ongoing forecasts, as well as the time that it's taking them to produce the reports and related analytics as well. What our customers are finding is that this enables them to spend more time on value-added activities, as well as grow the top line without corresponding increase in resources. And I'm constantly seeing this as I go through this process of value realization and measuring these benefits received. I'm constantly seeing the amount of time that is taken out of these processes across the board in all the different areas. And some are being driven by automation of the process itself. Others are being driven by the fact that they have an actual process in place that is enabling them to work according to a schedule. Some of them are literally taking out hugely manual pieces of the process as well, and putting that into a systematized approach and providing these types of benefits coming back to them. Some are greater than others if they're moving off of very manual-based Excel. So we see a lot of our customers in the planning and budgeting side of things still working primarily in Excel. And so there's a huge opportunity to take out efficiencies and inefficiencies in working in a case I saw the other day, 70 different Excel spreadsheets, and then the reporting side of things being driven out of those Excel spreadsheets and then being copied and put into PowerPoint, etc. So you can just imagine how much the time saving is that occurs by taking that off of those manual processes, those cut and paste scenarios that we all know and have lived in, and putting it into a systemized approach.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. We've all been there, lived in that model. And we see in Nova Advisory sees as well customers coming off of heavy Excel-based, spreadsheet-based processes. It's just legacy. People know those applications, but then they start growing. It starts becoming more burdensome, more cumbersome. And OneStream's unified model really gives them leaps and bounds improvements around that. Nate, so I'm curious, as you're guiding prospects through their selection process, their evaluation of OneStream, and as you do, how do you help them really evaluate CPM solutions? How do you help the prospect understand the unique value the OneStream offers?
Yeah, good question, Andy. So I think it really starts with engaging very closely of one another, of the prospects, to understand who OneStream is and what we do, as well as who are they as an organization, as people, and what they're trying to improve, and what are their objectives and strategy. We really try to dig in and understand what are their current challenges and requirements. If they need help defining that, sometimes that's an area that we'll dig into and help because of the folks and the resources that we have. And then we really try to understand what other challenges exist in the organization, maybe outside of just their area, because OneStream can solve for multiple solutions and deliver value in other areas as well. And then really aligning what those challenges are and what they want to accomplish to focus demonstrations and use cases that really make an impact, that drive the business outcomes that they're looking for. I had mentioned it before, but customer success is so important. And because we have a large reference base of customers that are willing to share their journeys and their decisions and outcomes, we really provide our customers and our prospective customers the ability to contact anybody that uses OneStream, to ask questions and to ask how they went about it, what lessons did they learn, what would they do differently, what the experience is like, really in a full open forum. And beyond that, what we think is really important is really to help customers understand the benefit and value. So that's really where Mitch's team comes into play, based on what they're trying to achieve and trying to associate what the opportunity for cost reduction or efficiency gains and risk mitigation would be through the deployment of OneStream.
Yep, I love the open book in terms of customer references, and that was something when I first started working with OneStream, it wowed me, frankly, because I've come from other provider environments that certainly can't speak to that. And Nova Advisory is in the same boat, of course, 100% customer referenceable, and our prospective customers certainly take us up on that, and love hearing the journeys that OneStream customers have had with their journey. So with that, maybe Mitch, you could talk a little bit more about how your team operates. OneStream is in a competitive CPM marketplace, but I feel that OneStream's got a lot of unique advantages that help customers achieve value over the long term. So could you expand a little bit about what you're describing earlier, and how your team helps the prospective CPM and OneStream customer understand what their potential ROI and overall value that they can achieve before they're making that investment?
Absolutely. And I'm just going to add, Andy, to your comment about the referenceability and the reference book, etc. I think that was probably the defining decision for me when I moved to OneStream as well. Never seen it, never heard of that anywhere else in the industry. And it is unique, but it's what we live by. And that's why we have a dedicated team on the value side of things. So I think in looking at this competitive market, the long-term advantages, I think the key thing here, and I know from my own background perspective, I was probably guilty of this, is when you're looking at, or when a prospect is looking at a solution, whether it's ERP or CPM, and in this case CPM, but you tend to think of this as a one-time project. Implement the project, be successful on the project on time and on budget, etc. And that's it. It's this one-time event. What we want our customers to think of is a journey, a continual journey through the life of their business with OneStream as a partner. And the reason I say that is there's this continuous array of solutions that we have within OneStream. It's not, you're not putting in one point solution and then optimizing that. It is a huge amount of elements and solutions. We've got the core things, which I think everybody understands in terms of close and consolidation, planning, budgeting, reporting, etc. But then we also have this marketplace or solution exchange, which are these developed solutions. And think of it, I know our CEO and our president talk about it in respect of kind of the iPhone, where you have the store, or you can go to for all these different add-on applications, etc. And so we have that type of an app store in the solution exchange, where they're continually being developed. And I remember at the time I joined, there was probably 50 of these different solutions. I know that there's 90 plus. I think we're just about to hit 100 of these in that solution exchange now as well. So as these customers join the journey with OneStream, we want them to understand that this is a long-term journey that they're going on, and there are all these continuously developed solutions being added to the solution exchange. For example, something like tax provisioning is one that comes to mind immediately. So once you get the core in place, you can then go out and have a look at what these additional solutions are, add those solutions, and the time to value for these is incredibly short because you've got the platform in place already. And so you're just deploying these additional solutions on a continuous basis. In addition to that as well, AI and ML are obviously the big buzzword. That's being developed as embedded parts of our platform and solution as well. So those are now out there and will continue to be developed over time. One specifically right now is sensible machine learning and deployed for time series forecasting. And this is driving huge improvements in forecast accuracy and efficiency. They're able to do, customers that I've seen have been able to do what data scientists are taking ages to do in a fraction of the time. And then the accuracy side of things and the accuracy improvements are in the double digits as well. So that's the example of this longer term look at OneStream as a partner for life, continuously improving, optimizing, and developing elements of the office of the CFO.
And I love that, those examples and stories. And the sensible ML, the AI and ML solutions they're incredibly powerful. And some customers aren't maybe quite ready to go there, but that solution exchange offers tons of value, even basic things like account reconciliations, which every customer has to deploy. We found we could stand those solutions up very quickly, especially if they've already got data into the platform. And we've seen even one customer realize they had a BlackLine SaaS license that came up faster than they thought, and we were expecting to implement account recs later in their life cycle, and they asked for us to accelerate that, and we were able to do that in as short as amount of time as about a month, saving them a couple $100,000 in license fees that they just didn't need. So love hearing those stories, and customers should just know they can start wherever makes sense for them, and they can add the solutions as it makes sense for their business as well.
Absolutely.
So great. Let's talk about the point where the customer has made the OneStream decision. Maybe Nate, you could share, you're working with onboarding new customers constantly, but you also help and guide them in making an implementation partner decision, which is crucial for their services. So what kind of qualities do you look for when you're trying to make that match and marry a customer with an implementation partner?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andy. It's one that's near and dear to my heart because I've seen so much here at OneStream and our customers, as well as my previous life in the software consulting space. It takes a strong partner with the necessary knowledge, not only technically, but as a business. So knowing Having certifications, so from a OneStream standpoint, having certifications and successful client base around OneStream from a technical standpoint, but also resources and services that bring expertise from a specific industry, if that's important, as well as offering guidance to the customer, a new customer that delivers multiple options for how to tackle the project or how to implement the solution of different methods and how to design an application, and really a partner that, some of the way we think is really thinking about how do you maximize their investment in the software, their investment in the implementation that focus on the business outcomes of the organization, of the people involved, and of the solution that they're really looking to deploy.
Yeah, I love that. Business outcome is something that we're constantly at Nova Advisory seeking to achieve. A customer, let's face it, they're purchasing a product in OneStream, but what they're really buying and seeking is that outcome. And so having that, from my perspective, having the comfort knowing that they've got the right partner that can help them achieve that outcome is really where I'd steer our customers to make that decision for themselves. Great. So let's maybe start to wrap up and talk about, Mitch, I've been dying to ask this question about post-implementation value and come back to that teaser you offered up earlier in this conversation. Maybe you could just explain how your team operates after the OneStream implementation. How do you help the customer assess the value that they've achieved with their OneStream solution?
Yeah, Andy, I'm so glad you asked that. I'll start by giving you a real life example from my prior life as CFO of this engineering company when we were going through an ERP evaluation, and we did a great business case. I thought, good job, done a lot of work, put a lot of work into it, and got the approval, got the sign off to move forward. And 2 years later, the board came back to me and said, how are we doing against what we signed off for in the CRP system? And I literally had egg on my face and I couldn't respond to it. We weren't tracking it, weren't looking at it. Probably a defining moment for me when it comes to value and tracking value and business cases and all those different things. But it really made me sit back and think very carefully about not just using the business case as an approval tool or process, but actually using that as the basis and baseline to track and measure going forward. And so that's exactly what we do at OneStream within our team, is and why we're so dedicated upfront with prospects to understand what the value is and working collaboratively with them to understand what the potential is. Once we do that, they are absolutely using that process for an evaluation and the approval side of things. But the key for us in our group is to say to them, that now becomes the baseline. And we literally go through a process after they've gone live where we go back and make sure that the baseline has been defined from their perspective and using that business case that we built together as that basis for it. And then a year from then, and sometimes we'll do this twice a year, is we'll go back to the customers, sit down with them, go through the baselines, also any additional metrics that may have been identified as well, and have a look at how they are doing against those initial baselines. And that's really where that improvement comes from, and that ability to go back and measure and track the improvement, and also becomes the basis for our value realization report out there as well. But it's a very satisfying process to go through from our perspective and from their perspective as well, because it allows all of us to have a look at the actual benefits that have been achieved, but also sometimes where they're lacking, and have a look at why they're lacking in those different areas and see if there's additional things that need to be changed. It may be adoption specific, etc., that may need to be changed, just to get those up to what we saw as the potential initially. Just that's the core of our value team at OneStream, is making sure that these are benefits that are actually realized and tracked.
Yeah, I think you've added a ton of value just there. Is the word baseline, and establishing that baseline up front allows you to go back and measure what you've achieved over the course of that implementation. And I bet you have a lot of pleasantly surprised customers as a result of that.
Very much.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I think that's a wrap. I really appreciate and value each of you coming on today's show. If someone were to want to reach out, maybe have a conversation with you or ask some follow-up questions, maybe they do. And what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can reach out to us via email. So I'll just share my email address, Andy. So it's ngruys@onestreamsoftware.com. Happy to answer any questions, reach out, whatever the question might be, wherever the need. If we can't help you ourselves, we can definitely, guide the question toward the appropriate resource here at OneStream.
Yeah, I'll add my email address to that. It's mturner@onestream.com. If anybody's out there and they're working with somebody already in OneStream, obviously just mention the value group and our value transformation services side of things, and they can put us in touch immediately. If you're working with Nova, then talk to Andy. Andy can put you in touch with us as well. But we'd be very happy to have at least just an initial discussion on the value side of things.
Wonderful. I appreciate that, Mitch and Nate. Thanks again for joining today's episode.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
So thanks again for listening to this episode of CPM Customer Success. Reminder to check out that CPM Customer Success CPM Software Evaluation Criteria workbook to guide your CPM decision. The OneStream capabilities we've been describing in CPM Customer Success dive deeper into each criteria. So check that out now at Nova Advisory's website, novaadvisory.com/podcast, and download our free CPM Customer Success Software Evaluation Criteria and Selection Workbook. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of CPM Customer Success.